going on, everybody? This is Lloyd Marshall Briggery, and this is another exciting episode of Breaking In, the path of the aspiring comic book artist. I want to start this episode with a notice, a warning, if you will. It's been about a month and a half since I last uploaded, and a lot has happened. So I'm going to talk for a while. So if you're not into me talking for a while, you've been warned, all right? But if you got about 15 minutes to kill and you just need a voice that's going to fluctuate and not be monotone and boring, and you may actually learn something cool or, at least share a cool experience, you might even get a shout out today, then I would suggest that you pay attention because it's about to go down. Okay, so just to get right into it, first of all, big shout out to all the supporters of the Breaking In channel. I've been to 2 different countries, several different cities, and each time I go to a new place, I have found someone that watches us. And so that's pretty stinking cool. I think that's really, look, I appreciate it, and I hope you guys keep watching. I hope that you find, at least sharing this journey with us, fruitful for you, if only to be in the struggle together. That being said, a few weeks ago, almost a month and a half ago, we'll start in Canada and we'll work our way down. Toronto Fan Expo. It was Labor Day. That's the September holiday. Labor Day. September, first weekend of September. For my day job, the Kubert School sent me to Toronto Fan Expo, which is the third largest comic book convention behind New York and San Diego in North America. So Toronto was awesome. It was amazing. Met some cool people up there. Big shout out to Toronto. I definitely got to go back. What it made me realize was, boy, do I miss New York City. There's a rhythm to New York that is it's a hustle pace. Everybody in New York, because of the cost of living and because New York is the center of the known universe, everybody there is hustling. And I say the center of the known universe because until they find life on another planet, then Earth is the center as far as life is concerned, and New York is the center of Earth, because all paths cross in New York City. Now, you can find specialty places in other cities, but everything you can find in high quality, be it fashion, entertainment, sports, government, art, you name it, and arts of all kinds, visual, music, performance. It's all in New York City. All paths cross in New York City in a major way. So that's why I call it the center of the universe. Anyway, that being said, Toronto, being in Toronto, Toronto's a wonderful place. Good beer too. Toronto reminded me how much I miss that pace of New York City. Also, one big thing I learned in Toronto, I kind of got snubbed by somebody I look up to. It's not anybody I work with, and that person shall remain nameless. But suffice it to say, some cool exchange was supposed to happen, and it didn't. And I got kind of stood up at the door when I was dressed and ready, and it didn't happen. And so I was kind of feeling down. My BlackBerry didn't get international coverage, so more to follow on that. So I was, and I left my iPad at home in Jersey. So I was in Toronto, just not well connected at all. And so, could have chosen to kind of be upset about that, but I didn't. Kind of fought through, even made some money at the booth for myself. Haha. Now I was doing some drawings and, sketching, and people asked for commissions, and it was great. It ended up being really, really great. And one thing I kind of owned feelings-wise was, hey, if the goal is 10, right? If your goal in life is 10, if whatever it is you're trying to go for, success is 10. Some people are born at 7. So their process to get to 10 is 3 steps. 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 8, 9, and 10. Boom. Some people are born at 3. And so their process is 7 more steps. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 9 and 10. Boom. Now, you can look at that and say, that sucks, and I'm just gonna be mad about it, and complain about it, or I'm gonna try to change the system. Or on the flip side, you can say, you know what? I just got to work a little bit harder than that person that was born at 3, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, because you know what? Everybody's running their own race. I'm on my path. You're on your path. And so that just means, look, if you're not born close to the top, you just got to work a little bit harder. And you know what? You're really going to appreciate it. And that's not to say those people that are born at 7, 8, 9, they don't appreciate it. They just have a different journey, you know? And that's okay too. So it was a very humbling experience, but it definitely was impactful in that it kind of gave me a little bit of fuel. And so what I'm going to do is take you through from that weekend up until this very moment, and tell you just how much fuel I got in the tank, because I'm ready to launch. I'm ready to take off. So the next thing that happened was I came back to Jersey for about a week, and then I went to Mexico. So big shout out to Dropper and Nora. Congratulations on the beautiful wedding. Coolest wedding I've been to by far. Mexico was wonderful. It was nothing like anything I'd ever expected or seen, or everything I've seen at how Mexico's depicted in our media, be it movies or TV or even news. This city, Monterrey, was nothing like that. Nothing like that. Here, Ernesto and Dropper picked me up from the airport, and that's a whole different story. Someday, we're all going to have to get together and retell that story. But, yeah, as soon as they got me from the airport, we immediately went to Starbucks and drew. So, if you can believe that, that's what Mexico was like. I mean, it was wonderful. I spent a week down there, hung out with Ernesto mostly because Dropper was, planning a wedding. And big shout out to Kike and Ed's Fox and Illy. It was great meeting you guys. Man, and like I said, Dropper and Nora's wedding was amazing. Look, I saw Dropper dance for 6 hours straight. Seriously. I've known Dropper for 6 years, and I've never seen him dance before at all. Zero. Zilch. So seeing him dance, and how his wife Nora Picoco was singing to him all night. Those two are so much in love. It was great. It was wonderful. So that was a good break. It was the first time I've been on vacation, a real legit vacation in years, actually. So that was good. Also bought some comic books down there. It was wonderful. As soon as I got back maybe on a Sunday night. Monday, I was back in Jersey and went to work and immediately went to go see Magnificent Seven. It's the latest Denzel Washington movie. Chris Pratt's in it. A lot of just an all-star cast. The guy that plays Kingpin, for all you Daredevil fans out there, he's in it. But Antoine Fuqua, a wonderful director, he directed the movie. And if you're into westerns or even that plot, it was amazing. It was just amazingly well done as a western. Had a great time, but it really just inspired me. Man, look at that, man. These people are telling stories, man. I got to get back into it. Okay? So, next thing that happened. So, Magnificent Seven gave me more fuel. The next thing that happened was at my church. They did this intensive on the Old Testament. Now, those of you that have been following the channel or even run into me at conventions, you guys know I'm working on doing the story of Samson, which is in the book of Judges in the Bible. I'm putting that into comic book format, kind of through my own lens, but I'm staying true to the text. So, taking this intensive is a three-night course. Pastor Gary Simons flown in from Bermuda with his family and support team, and my goodness, was it beneficial. I am a nerd when it comes to just the historicity of scripture and ancient texts. I love that stuff, and I learned so much. Showed him, the instructor showed him some of my artwork for Samson, and he loved it. I was surprised because usually, I oftentimes say my content isn't safe for church and not safe for work. It's kind of a joke because jokes are always funnier when you explain them. Everybody knows that. But because it's just raw, and I think the reality, the rawness of those events is okay. Like, I think it's cool. I don't try to shy away from it. And I think a lot of people do. So oftentimes I'm met with mixed reviews when it comes to fellow scholars of scripture. Oftentimes people just recommend, oh, you should do something for kids, and it's like, oh man, this is not for kids. Not my brand anyway. But Pastor Samuels was very encouraging, very supportive, and he was just really excited about it. And so that just kind of encouraged me. Like, wow, like, maybe I should finish this project, because everyone who I tell about the project, like, they get really excited about it. So in the midst of all of that, a good friend of mine from college kind of contacted me about some comic book stuff, and we geeked out and we caught up, and didn't know she was watching the videos either. So big shout out to Tiff Fields. Thanks so much for love and support and encouragement, because it was right on time. My brother needed that so bad. So love you much, sis, and that was great. So a little bit more fuel added to the tank. Moving forward, right? We were preparing for New York Comic Con. So now we're up to maybe 10 days ago. And New York Comic Con week is very interesting for my job, because it's so close to where we live in New Jersey that it's a local show, but still, I mean, if you live in New Jersey, New York is a world away. But we always try to make a big deal out of it and invite a bunch of guests to the school to come talk, and I get to interview them for our other YouTube channel, Kubert School Media. Big shout out and shameless plug. This year was interesting because we got some young talent. Usually, like last year, I had Simon Bianchi, and you guys know him. I mean, he's the man. And Brendan Wright, who's a longtime editor at Dark Horse, and he was going freelance, you know. And so these are seasoned veterans in the comic book industry for New York Comic Con week. And this year, I think the person that's been in the industry the longest has been in for 6 years, and that's Gary Brown. Man, and Gary Brown is cool. He's one of the coolest people. Gary Brown and Corey Smith, they both are graduates of the school. I think Corey's been in the industry the last 5 years, and they both done Marvel, DC. Gary's in Dark Horse. He's doing Image now. Corey's doing Marvel, doing Nova, and he's about to move on to his next project. And also my main man, Isaac Goodhart, who won the Top Cow Talent Hunt a few years back, and he's working on Postal for Top Cow. He's been doing that for years now, for the last 2 years. So they all three of them came and gave a talk on the same day. So you can imagine my office was, I mean, my hair's starting to grow back a little bit, kind of, but you can imagine how I was pulling my hair out, preparing for that, coming off of, you know, being in Mexico for a week. But we got it done, and it was very enlightening. Just got to hang out with those guys and really pick their brains and spend time with them, and see how they encouraged our students in the third year class. Some feedback I got from a couple of third year students was that the information that these guys shared was extremely relevant to them, because they're so close, you know, they're not so far removed from being in school or being in an educational environment. So that was cool, because I always try to share. I don't think, you know, I remember Joe Kubert said there's no secrets in what we teach at the Kubert School. You can learn it on your own. But he said it would take you 10 years to learn it at the Kubert School. It'll take you 3. So, you know, I take that, you know, the principle of there's no secrets. Like, hey, we can share all the information, especially in this day and age. And whoever's gonna be that good soil for that seed, like that seed's gonna go in, plant some deep roots, and bring forth the great fruit. And you know, it's up to you what kind of soil you're gonna be. So, you know, I'm all about share alike, because the more you know, the more equipped you are for success. So that was great. Again, just really encouraged by those guys, and seeing like somebody that's like my age, like that's doing it, and being successful at it. One thing I learned from Gary Brown I'm going to get into at the very end, so bear with me. I know we're probably at like 15 minutes right now or close to it. So I told you guys I'm going to run my mouth today, because like I said, it's on. It is on and popping. So being around those guys really, really energized me. And big shout out to Dylan Gray at Top Cow in the marketing department for hooking me up with Isaac. That was good. Definitely gotta thank you for that one, man. So moving forward, Now we got New York Comic Con, and it is, let me see, it's Monday right now, October 10th. And did you guys see that my nose was running? Y'all caught that? Go back in the video and pause it. You'll see a little con crud, man, trying to creep up out of me. I already had a hot and toddy today. I'm about to go to bed. But first, I have tasks to do that I'm going to tell you about in a second. But I had New York Comic Con this past weekend, and we're off today. People still celebrate Christopher Columbus Day, although I don't celebrate it. I don't really go hard for a lot of holidays. I don't find that one very meaningful to me. That's a whole different conversation, but it's a day off that I don't have to go into the office, so I was very productive today getting work done. But just a little bit about New York Comic Con. It was awesome, and it was infuriating, and that was wonderful. So let me get these shout outs out the way. I got a whole play sheet today because there's a lot that happened and I don't want to forget anything. But big shout out to Louis LaRosa, who's one of my most favorite artists. He's doing Bloodshot. Well, he's doing Savage now. He just wrapped a series up with Valiant doing Bloodshot, and it's the kind of Mad Max Bloodshot. I think it's Bloodshot Reborn. You guys should definitely check it out. He is a Copics wizard. And showed him some of my artwork, which I'm going to show you guys here in a second. Thanks so much, Louis, for your time and just your commitment to the craft. I love your art, man. Please keep it going. It's very inspirational for me personally. The way I feel about your art is the way I want people to feel about my art when they see it. So thanks, man, for setting the bar so high. And that advice, man, I can't wait to put it to good use, especially this week. So spent some time with Lewis. Also met Eric Cooper, the incomparable Eric Cooper. He's a wonderful writer and the creator of Night Seeker. You guys should definitely check that out. I showed Eric some of my art, and we just had a really, really wonderful exchange. And so speaking of my art, I've been working on Samson the Nazarite. You guys know that. And I've been showing some people that I admire, and look up to some of this concept art. This is what Samson will look like in the book. So let me just take a second and show you guys that real quick. And I got something else too. A little bit more. Just some cool, maybe I'll make a print out of this, or, he's a little upset, as you can see. Somebody's in trouble. So working with Copics, learning a lot. Just want to let you guys know I'm not lazy. I have been doing work. But I mentioned something earlier about I call it the great ironic frustration. The frustration is this. New York Comic Con this year is probably my 7th or 8th in a row. But New York Comic Con this year is also my 7th or 8th convention this year. So not only is it the 7th or 8th time I've gone to New York Comic Con, either as a fan, as a student, or for my job, but this is also like the 6th or 7th show I've done this year. And man, you can get fatigued doing these shows. It's like Groundhog Day. You're just a different crowd or a different accent. And man, oh man, boy was I fatigued. Did I have some job fatigue doing all this work, traveling all around. And I'm grateful. I feel like this job that I have is a wonderful position for me to build a network, learn a lot, bump elbows, rub elbows, do you bump shoulders? Whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. I get to mix it up with people I admire the most in this industry, and that's awesome. But the thing about this job is, imagine that the comic book industry is people swimming in the deep end at the beach. You get to go into the deep end of the beach head, right? My job kind of keeps me in the shallow end. I'm waist deep. Now, the cool thing about that is some people don't even get to get in the water. And so I'm totally grateful for the opportunity to even get in the water. But when you're waist deep and you can see other people out there swimming, and you were made to swim, you have the ability to swim, all you really want to do is have your shot to sink or swim. And that's not to say I haven't had a shot. I haven't had multiple shots, and it comes around in cycles and all these shows, different opportunities, yada, yada, yada. But just really branching off of my own, that's where my heart is. And like I said, it's a frustration because you see it happening in front of your face, and it's just so close yet so far away. But the great thing about that is, now we're going to talk about more fuel in the tank, is that I could A, let that bum me out and just mope around in the shallow end or kind of wallow in it. Or I could B, use that emotional frustration as fuel and say, you know what? I'm going to let this drive me to break through the barrier and go swim in the deep end. And that's where I am in life right now. So it's a great frustration because oddly, I am so happy feeling that way about it. It's making me do so much more work. And that's a good thing. It's making me so much more productive, so much more focused and driven. And I really, really appreciate that. So I don't know what you guys are facing, what challenges you guys have, but don't let it get you down per se. You're guaranteed to have struggles in this life. Like life, I was telling somebody, probably Ernesto, we talked a lot in Mexico. Good times, man. But I don't think that we're supposed to be happy all the time. Like, I don't think the purpose of life is to be happy. I would say that the most profound lessons, the most meaningful and valuable lessons and wisdom that I've gained in life, the most important lessons have never come when I'm happy. And I might not have been sad or depressed or angry, but I assure you I wasn't happy when those lessons were learned. I might have been melancholy. I might have been, I don't know, down in the dumps, whatever you name it, but I surely wasn't happy. So beware of the person that's always smiling, because they might be smiling to cover up something, and maybe they just need somebody to ask them what's going on with them. But that aside, this frustration that you may be facing, you got to figure out a way to leverage that and use it as fuel and energy to get hot and do something about it. Jack Kirby, King Kirby, the king of comics, said, for a comic book artist, everything is pressure. Life is pressure. And you use that pressure to do work. And that's just where I am in life right now. So that's just been really great. Oh, by the way, had a Damian Torres sighting. That's right, people. He exists. He's real. He is out there. So big shout out to Damian. Came by the booth. We kind of walked through Artist Alley a little bit together. It was good to see you, man. I hope to see you some more, man. And good luck. Yo, those sample pages, man, they were on fire. F-I-Y-A, fire. So, if they don't hire you, that's their loss. So keep pressing, man. That's what we got to keep doing. Keep pressing. So now we're up to today. Got home last night from New York Comic Con. Big shout out to my main man, Evan Goldstein, and David O'Hare, Garden State. What's up, y'all? Evan rode into the city with Evan every morning, and just learned a lot about the guy. He was great. He's a wonderful dude. Good guy to have on your team, for real. But got home last night, and I was bushed from the show. Like, my nose is stuffy, my throat's a little sore. But I had to go see Birth of a Nation by Nate Parker. It's the story of Nat Turner and slave rebellion in Southampton County in Virginia in the early 1800s. And for so many different reasons, I made it my mission in life to go, especially on opening weekend. Number one, to support Nate Parker. Number two, just to see a guy, like this guy wrote it, he did the screenplay, he directed it, he starred in it, he raised money for it, he produced it. This man did the lion's share of work, and I gotta tell you, the movie is great. If you are a lover of justice, you'll love this movie. It's based on a true story, and obviously, I'm not naive to the fact of what's going on in this country, in America, the United States. This movie couldn't be more relevant, and after seeing some interviews with this gentleman, boy, am I glad I went and saw that movie. So my contribution was to be a part of that opening night opening weekend money, and that's why I went last night. My goodness, did that give me hope? Did that energize me and really fuel my fire? My already boiling fire, right? Does fire boil? Can you do that? Anyway, that makes it a plasma, right? As for all my science people out there. But, no, seriously, what a great movie. What a great film. If you love movies like Braveheart and, man, just, what's the movie? with the Gladiator. The movie with the gladiators. Gladiator. You'll love this movie. So I definitely recommend it. And if it's not your cup of tea, respect. Mazel tov. Do your thing. But people should support this guy. He's going to be a brilliant filmmaker. He's already a brilliant filmmaker, but he's going to make. I can't wait to see his career. So now I have this full tank of creative energy and fuel. What to do with it? Well, the big thing I learned from my main man Gary Brown and Corey Smith, both of them, is something that I guess I should have known, but I heard somebody say recently, the expectation in life isn't for you to be 100% all at once. I'm not 100% intelligent all at once. It's a work in progress. So contrary to my own popular belief, I don't know everything. But what I learned was for comic book production, it's a 5-week plan, and that's 35 days. In my mind, up until last week, I thought it was a monthly plan. I thought it was a 30-day plan. So when you structure and you train for a 30-day process, and then you're told, hey, it's actually a 35-day process, my goodness, is that a load off? You can, A, continue to do it your 30-day way and get 5 days off. B, plan a little bit more wisely, and so that during those 35 days, you're less stressed and you can be more productive. Or C, you can call it stupid and try to change the game. I'm not doing C. What I did was I took a 35-day plan, and here's the latest greatest. So if you just tuned in, here's the deal. What I've learned in the last month and a half has all led me to this very point today. 35 days from now will be November 14th. Today is October 10th. So 35 days from today was day 1, will be November 14th. My plan is to have the completed art for my story of Samson, the Nazarite, number 1, completely finished and off to post-production, which means lettering is done, it's been organized, scanned and organized, all the art's done, it's been scanned and organized in a file and sent to a printer and waiting to be printed by November 14th. What I'm going to do is update you guys daily. Now, every video won't be 30-minute video. I promise you that. But I'm going to update you guys for accountability purposes, really for myself, and to show you guys, if this can be done, or, it's just for a way for me to kind of track progress and process. Today, like I said, was day 1. You guys are going to be seeing this on my day 2, so I'll be a day afterwards. So November 15th, which is a Tuesday, will be when we kind of check and see. We'll look back over the last 35 days and see whether or not I did this. So I started almost from zero. To be fair, I've got the cover finished. I have most of the first issue plotted out. But as far as moving on to the second issue, I did plug into my plan. I plugged in some preparations for issue 2 while completing issue 1. So that being said, today's goal was to get a full script complete. So I kind of work from the Marvel way. If I'm writing and drawing it, I'll do a kind of a paragraph story form, and then I'll break that story down into actions, which then effectively become panels, and then those panels become pages, and then you have your pages, your page count. So it is 9:30 p.m. on Monday night, and I've got the plot plotted out. And it's kind of broken down into actions, but not fully. So before I go to bed tonight, I'll break all that down into actions, and I got all my dialogue and everything. So, broke it down into a kind of I want to say 12 steps. That's kind of funny though, like a 12-step process. That wasn't. No, actually, it's 13. Now that I think about it, ha. But 13 steps to completion. And like I said, I'll be updating you guys every single day. Like I said, the updates will go really short after this one, but today is like a launch day. And it'll be all on my YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel, Breaking In. Some of these will be full-up episodes. Most of them will be 2 minutes. Hey, this is what I did today. And this is going to happen for the next 35 days. And I'll tell you what kind of challenges I face. And I really appreciate if you guys walk with me during this whole thing. And you may find this encouraging, or you may just be watching to see if I fall flat on my face. Either way, people always perform when people always perform better when other people are watching. So this is going to help me out either way, to know that you guys are tuning in. And I know that you are, because everywhere I've gone in the last month and a half, someone has come up to me and told me that they are, which I was having a lot of doubts about. So thank you guys so much for loaning me your attention. I hope it's at least been entertaining, if not informative. I would say I'll see you in 2 weeks, but I will literally see you tomorrow. I've got a script to finish, and I got work to do. So, please like, subscribe, share, do that whole thing. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you guys this. Remember I said how my BlackBerry didn't get any service in Toronto? I knew it wasn't going to work in Mexico. So, I went and did the unthinkable, you guys. I went and bought an iPhone. I had to retire my BlackBerry and dip it in bronze and put it on a plaque. It's hanging up over my toilet. That's a joke. Seriously, it's a joke. Stop laughing. Boy, start laughing. Whatever, you blew it. All I'm saying is I have an iPhone now. So, be on the lookout. All of my handles are This Is Marshall's Art instead of Marshall Art. You get it? Marshall being my middle name and how I'm signing my work right now. So you guys, follow me on all that stuff. I'll link it up in the description box down below. So thanks for your time. It's cool that you guys are going through this journey with all of us. Oh, last shout out, man. My main man, Darren Roach. Man, Darren's so cool. We do most of our communication on social media, on Facebook. But he stopped by the booth in New York, along with countless other people, for sure. And thank you guys all for stopping by and just hanging out. It was really dope, especially helping me deal with my own personal frustrations in life, which is a good thing. So, hey, when stuff goes up, down, left, right, side to side, you still have a mission to fulfill. So to everybody out there, continue mission, or as we say in the Army, Charlie Mike. This is Lloyd Marshall Briggery, signing off until tomorrow. Peace, y'all.